All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our class here today. My name is Morgan Heitzma with Scott Leroy Marketing, and today's class is actually going to be a You Choose class. So every other Friday, we actually have a poll that you guys get to vote in what we teach for the Friday. So again, if you are interested in any kind of trainings that may not be on the SLM calendar just yet, just note that every other Friday you have the ability to vote in your specific request for these classes. So this is one of those requests here today. This is going to be all about creating opportunity checklists as well as taking a look at your opportunity marketing. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump in here. But before we actually jump into the KW Command platform, I wanted you guys to know that at any point in today's training, if you have any questions, please feel free to use this chat box down below. I'll do my best to stop in real time and help address those as we navigate along here today. If I miss any questions, just know that I'll stay for a few minutes at the end of class to help get those addressed. If by chance we need to troubleshoot your account, right, or we need to jump in and take a closer look, please feel free to reach out to us at support@scottleroymarketing.com. I'm going to throw that email in the chat box down below for you guys. And also note that today's class is recorded and going to be uploaded on our YouTube page. It usually takes about 24 hours or so for that to upload, but I'm going to throw the link for that YouTube down below as well. All right. One final piece of content or information that I'm going to give you guys before we actually jump in and take a look at our KW Command system. And that's going to be primarily what we're going to be focused on here today. And that's going to be opportunity checklists. So one of our big sections here today is going to kind of be able to jump in and start to create these opportunity checklists for your buyers and your sellers. So with that being said, that there's a large number of stages, right? So cultivate, active, under contract, and closed, right? And then you have that for the buyers as well. So there's a number of different sections that we're going to jump in today to create these checklists. So let's go ahead and take a look at what this checklist kind of looks like. So on the screen here, if we take a look, I'm going to drop this document in the chat box down below for you guys. And within this document right here, you're going to see two sections. On section number 2 and section number 3, you're going to see your seller opportunity checklist and your buyer opportunity checklist. So these are going to be the two links that we're going to be working out of here today. And also note that every single one of you guys, you have your own independent business, right? So every business is run a little bit differently. Treat these two links right here as truly templates into helping you get on your way to creating these checklist items. If there's a step in here that you don't necessarily do with your business, you can go ahead and swap that out for something that you do. So again, as we're taking a look right here, I jumped into the seller opportunity template. And again, you'll see that we have our watch, nurture, and hot. And that typically represents our phases, our stages within our opportunity. Now, if we take a look on the left-hand side right here, these skinny little sections, we have all of our phases. So our cultivate, appointment, active, under contract, and closed right here. So they do a pretty good job of organizing this for us. And what's really cool about this method is we can really just kind of copy and paste it over and then make those small little adjustments within the KW Command system. So again, yes, this link right here, we're going to be jumping back and forth between these two links. But let's first jump into our KW Command system and kind of see where we're going to be kind of focused on today. So again, if this is your very first time jumping into KW Command, it's going to be agent.kw.com. Going to look something like that up at the very top. And then it's going to take your KW username and password. And once we sign in here, we're going to use Scott's account today. Once we sign in here, it should bring us to our KW Command dashboard or our homepage. And within our dashboard right here, if we think about opportunities, there is going to be a couple steps that we'll need to do in order to kind of create a successful opportunity. For the sake of time here today, just note that there are full in-depth classes on these first few steps that I'm going to kind of just touch on. Okay, so the first step would be to go into your settings here, connect your DocuSign, because you're going to need that for your opportunities. Okay. And then the second step would be going to your contacts right here and creating a contact, because everything within KW Command says to which contact do you want to apply this activity to. So once we have both of those, we can actually jump into or create an opportunity. And again, for those of you, there are recordings as well. So if you need those on how to get to linking your DocuSign and connecting, creating a contact, just let me know and I'll be able to send that over to you. But as we're taking a look right here, we have Sally Sample. We'll go ahead and use Sally as our contact here today. Sally Sample, if we give a look on the right-hand side right next to templates here, you'll see that Sally does have 2 listings already within their opportunities. But let's go ahead and create another opportunity for Sally Sample here. So we can go ahead and create one on the top right-hand corner right here. This is going to be a buyer, since Sally does not have any buyers yet. And I'm not really going to be focused too much on filling in this information for you. This is going to be pretty important, right? Because the more information we have, the more access we'll have later down the road, right? So it won't stop and ask us for our estimated close date or so on. If you don't have this information, perfectly fine. Doesn't require you to add this until the very end here. But there are going to be some sections that are required. So we're in the cultivate stage on the buyer section. We'll go ahead and create that, fill in our commission rate. And now we have a opportunity for Sally Sample buyer. And again, I created this on the contact card right here. We can very easily create another opportunity for Sally Sample by clicking on the red KW square and then navigating over to the opportunities section. Now, from this point, you have your listings timeline, your buyer's timeline, and your leases timeline. Sally Sample, let's jump into Scott Leroy's account. Sally Sample should be within the cultivate section right here. You see that we do have 2 opportunities, and this is going to be that opportunity that we just created here. Now, we have a fresh, brand new opportunity. And again, this can kind of work with other opportunities as well. Now, I believe this is the marketing section may only come into play with a listing opportunity, not a buyer opportunity. So for this case right here, when we jump into Sally Sample buyer, we'll take a look and we'll see on the opportunities timeline we have details, documents, offers and commissions, notes, and timeline. So this would typically be that standard menu option within the opportunity here. But if I were to go back out and if I were to find Sally Sample again within the contacts, and if I were to just simply click on one of her listing opportunities right here. So let's do this one right below here. Once I jump into the listing opportunity, you'll see that you'll have an additional option right here called marketing. And this is a very quick way for you to be able to create branded marketing for this specific listing right here. Now, Sally right here, we don't have any listing information for Sally just yet, but once you create a listing opportunity, you should also have a button up top here. So these are going to be the two buttons that are going to be different than what you would find inside of your buyer opportunity. So these are 2 new buttons right here. Select from listings. This is going to be where we pull in that specific listing. So I'm just going to add 123 Main Street. And we'll go ahead and just select a random listing here. And you see that information populated on the property side right here. Now, it does look like this opportunity is connected with a DocuSign account. So what I can do is I can just kind of refresh and then resync just to make sure that everything is connected with that opportunity, with that DocuSign. And once everything's kind of synced up right here, I'm going to navigate over to the marketing tab. And again, this marketing tab really generates from the from designs. Only it just kind of gives you a specific piece of content depending on where this opportunity is in the pipeline. So in this case right here, Sally's sample is in the listing appointment section. So this gives us a listing presentation. But if I bring Sally's sample over to the cultivate section right here, let's start off at the very beginning. Bring Sally's sample back over. So if we start off in the cultivate section right here, you'll see you should have a different set of branding options, again, depending on where this opportunity is in the pipeline. So as you're carrying the transaction down the timeline, you can actually select specific branding without having to kind of think too much about what would typically go here in terms of marketing. So starting off here first, post trend alert, home value post. So if I am interested in selecting one of these pieces of content, I can give this a click. It's loading up here for us, so we'll give it a second. And it should pull in that content here for us. So again, in the cultivate section, you're just really trying to build brand awareness. You're trying to nurture leads. So again, something kind of similar to this would fall in the category of nurturing your lead, right? I'm sure a app, download my app marketing would also be great for this as well. But again, you have the ability to kind of pull this in. Now going back over here, we're just going to follow this this one opportunity down the timeline here. So we did see that appointment already, but again, giving this a second look right here within the appointment section. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to tell you that it also saves your content as well. So as you're kind of navigating this down the timeline, you can see all the different pieces of marketing or content that you've done for this listing. But next you have your listing presentation right here. So if we give this a click, this should pull in here for us. And then this should allow us to be able to kind of edit this, to kind of fit this specific listing. Is there a way to automatically send these emails out to leads that we've contacted or clicked through landing page? So sorry, let me actually slow down and ask that question a little bit better. So is there a way to automatically send these emails out to leads that have connected or that have contacted or clicked on a landing page? So with this right here, I believe if they click on a landing page, I think you do have the ability through, I believe, Smart Plans. As far as this marketing goes, I believe this is designs are truly just here to create the content. The campaigns or the Smart Plans will actually be sending the content out, right? So so in this case, we're just looking at the opportunity, so the transaction, and the marketing content. So however you send that out might be a little bit different depending on what you choose to do. Marketing materials should be available for everyone, yes. You should not have to request it. I mean, there could be small instances where an admin may not possibly have like a download my app piece of marketing material, but for the most part, everyone who's doing transactions and is licensed should have these templates here. All right, listing template. What's cool about these listing templates, on the bottom right-hand corner here, you have a button called Pages. If we give this a click, you can actually scroll through all of the individual pages here. And then if you need to kind of update this, we can kind of very, very easily update this to anything that we want. Again, also, if you have a different color scheme, if you have different branding for you and your business, again, we can kind of go ahead and adjust that very easily, very quickly. We'll do that same purple scheme over here. And now we have kind of like a different template layout that it kind of looks like. Listing information that we pull in will come from the MLS. So as we're taking a look right here, we have KWLS on the left-hand side. What's cool about the design section as well is you're able to pull these listings in. Since I automatically, since I updated that opportunity for that 123 Main Street, and then I'm inside of that opportunity marketing, it actually pulls in that listing for me, so I don't have to reapply that listing information. So it actually pulled up all this, all these pictures for that listing that I connected to my opportunity. So there we go. We have that. Again, if anything kind of updates or adjusts a little bit different than you want, you can double click on this and we can just kind of rotate this up to how we see fit. There we go. Perfect. And then once you're done, of course, we can go ahead and we can hit done right here. There we go. We'll save. Always save on the top left-hand corner. And then you should have that marketing. You should also be able to find this marketing inside of your designs as well. So again, if we go inside of our designs, since we just updated it, these will be the first two that pop up here on the top left. If the opportunity is not yet listed, I'm not 100% sure that you're going to be able to find that by pulling that listing in, but you should also be able to. Let's get back to that opportunity here. So, but getting back into this opportunity, you should also have this edit pencil right here, and you should be able to kind of fill in that address manually. All right, perfect. So now again with Sally Sample, we have two pieces of marketing. We're going to carry Sally Sample through the active stage. So we're going to just drag this opportunity over to active here. And taking a look at the active marketing, you'll see that we have a number of other kind of pieces of content here. So right here, one thing that I also, now that we have a couple options here, gives us a better view of what type of content this is. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have about 5 new pieces of content plus our 2 old ones that we just created. But within these 5 pieces of content, 1, 2 are print, right? So 2 are either flyers or something of that, a trifold. And then 3 are going to be social media posts right here. So you'll be able to actually identify which piece of content goes where, whether it be a printable, social media, email, things like that. And then as we kind of take a look down below, just kind of gives you another bit of information. So again, that trifold, flyer, a post, and post. So as we're taking a look right here, as this is an active listing now, we can go ahead and create a just listed social media post. So giving this a click right here, we're going to jump right back into the design section. And again, we can do very much the same sort of stuff. So first and foremost, again, if we are using like a purple branding, right, we'll go ahead and swap that branding over, keep everything consistent, right? And then as we are taking a look right here, we can click on KWLS one more time and we can find that listing image here. So let's try and find something. There we go. I'm going to pull this bottom one right here. I'm going to wait until this line up here stops kind of moving, lets me know that it's done loading in. And then again, I'm just going to double click this right here. I'm going to make any kind of adjustments. Again, if this isn't quite the right picture to fit inside of this this frame, I may want to adjust and move it over. Adjust and choose a different image. So let me try and choose this one instead. This one might be a little bit better. And then again, I can kind of maybe slightly move this over, and look at that, a lot better. So now I have a just listed piece of content here. So again, as we can kind of see, we're moving down the timeline, but we're also creating these specific pieces of content as well, very, very easily. So again, top left-hand corner, file save. Top right-hand corner, done. And then now you'll see that we have our 3 pieces of content right here. If you want to create more, if you want to create another print, another flyer, things like that, feel free. But as we are kind of taking a look here, let's go ahead and navigate towards the next section. So we're going to take Sally's sample. We're going to go to under contract now. Give Sally a click. We'll click on marketing right here. And then we have, again, 3 social media posts right here. So again, very easy to just take a look here and say, okay, do I want to, again, drag a image over top? Do I just want a generic image? Or do I want something a little bit more modernized right here? I might choose the modernized image right here. So again, and they do a pretty good job of creating these nice high quality templates here for you. So again, you won't really have to do too much. We'll drag that image over one more time. Let's use this bottom one now. There we go, perfect. And then again, we can change to our specific branding. Oops. Well, it didn't quite update this time here, but that's perfectly fine. So again, as we're kind of taking a look right here, we have a just listed. We can add additional information right here on the left-hand side if you want. You can add your headshot. Again, you have some options up here. So we can choose title or subtitle, body text. So I may want to add some additional context right here. And then again, if you want to add like a headshot, there's this cool thing called frames. And again, we can choose any kind of shape for our picture right here. So let's choose a circle. And then we'll choose images and then assets right here, my assets. And then let's go ahead and pull Scott's headshot in right here. And then perfect. So you have a couple different options when it comes to creating, again, you're under contract here. So again, we're going to hit File, Save, and then we're going to hit Done here. And then so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of marketing for this one listing that we have right here. So again, doing pretty good. I breezed through the listing presentation. The listing presentation may take you a little bit of time, but other than that, for the most part, and aside from like fine tuning and editing these pieces of content here, I mean, it should be relatively quick and easy for you. Going back to under contract right here, we'll just move Sally sample to closed. Joe will confirm the close date. And then as we give this a click right here, click on marketing, you'll have your last little section right here. So you have your just sold flyer, your just sold social post, or your second just sold social post. Kind of like this center one right here. And as we take a look, we can just simply click on KWLS since it already pulled in that listing for us. And then what's one final picture I want to choose? again, it's nice to be able to switch it up, but again, if you don't have the ability to switch it up, this looks like a little bit further away view. So so again, being able to kind of showcase a couple different images right here just kind of brightens up each post and kind of makes each post its own. Give this a double click right here. And then there we go. We'll hit File, Save. Who's the audience for the marketing material for various stages? Sure. Well, as you see right here, let's actually hit Done. And let's take a look at the different pieces of marketing that we created. So first and foremost, do you know the value of your home? So so this right here, this is going to be within the cultivate stage, right? And this is what we typically say as the nurture stage. So this is the moment a brand new cold lead comes in. You haven't reached out just yet, and then you start to build that connection. You start to nurture, and then that lead starts that lead is committed to do business with you. And then as that lead is committed to do business with you, again, since it's marketing right here. Since it's a listing marketing, then we move over to the listing presentation. So, so again, building out a nice presentation for the seller. So now we're going to go from basically kind of a social media presence post for pretty much anyone to a listing presentation specifically for that seller. And then once again, since this is a listing here, since we have to provide value for our client, and since we want to promote this listing to get more views and more buyers' attention, we're going to start to promote this listing right here. So so right here you'll have a just listed that you're going to go ahead and post to social media. There was some other sections as well, like flyers and stuff, depending on your preference. But again, we'll start to kind of get exposure. You'll start to let everyone know that hey, this house is for sale. But not only that, but if you want to work with me as well, we also have branded content that we can kind of send out. And then next, you're just basically telling the story or the journey of this transaction right here, right? So so now this is under contract. So clients are happy. Not only that, it kind of piques a little bit more interest in some other sellers for you. They may be interested in selling their home. It's sold. So now we get to kind of go through the whole journey of this transaction right here. And then as you are kind of going back through that circle of creating leads and gathering leads to nurture, you're going to follow that again through that next leads listing. So that's kind of like the timeline or the transaction. You have some pieces of content that's specific for the individual. You have some pieces of content that's specific for the actual listing, right? And then you have some content that is specific for, I'd just say like maybe lead capture or lead nurture, presence. So, so pretty cool. We have the ability on the very end right here. We can create a paid campaign as well. So again, as we're taking a look at all of our pieces of content, it's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 pieces of content right here. If we click on create paid campaign, this should pull us into the ability to kind of send out that marketing, right? So if we want to promote that, hey, this listing was just sold, let's go ahead and just kind of create that right here so we can kind of send that out. Now, I'm not, for the sake of time, I'm not going to go through creating this ad, but also note that we do have new classes for this new paid ads section as well. So so again, just note that we have one recording already on our YouTube page, so that's already there for you right now, but we should have another one coming up here relatively soon. Just going to kind of reorient myself back here a little bit. Okay, perfect. So again, we kind of followed the full timeline marketing of Sally's sample and Sally's listing right here. Now what we want to kind of do is we want to kind of go a step further and not only create marketing for each and every stage, we also want to create checklist checklist items. And with checklist items, we're actually able to ensure that we are providing the same excellent service for every single lead that comes into our database. So from the moment they come in to the moment that they close on that deal. So opportunity checklists paired with your marketing here should be a foolproof strategy to help you be able to, again, provide excellent standard of service. So let's go back to our sales pipeline right here. You have your checklist items for each timeline. Now we're really going to just focus on our listings and our buyers timeline right here. This is going to be that checklist that I gave you over here. So let's go to sellers first. Sellers is going to be that listing checklist or that listing timeline. And as we kind of jump up right here, let's go back to our opportunity. And as we take a look right here, you'll see cultivate, appointment, active, under contract, and close. This is kind of what I was talking about a little bit earlier. With this right here, you have cultivate, appointment, active, under contract, and close. So all these are on the left-hand side right here. And then everything that we saw inside of that opportunity. So Sally Sample, we'll bring Sally Sample back to cultivate. Sally Sample has a long journey to get to a closed stage right here. So we actually have all these boxes within cultivate that we need to go through in order for Sally to move to the appointment section. And then we have so many boxes that Sally needs to move through in order to get to the active, and then so on, and then so forth. So as we take a look right here, I may have more boxes than you, but bear with me here. You should at least have your watch, nurture, and hot. And this is what I mean by a watch would be a lead that has no idea about you. They're interested in your service, but you have not reached out to them whatsoever just yet. Nurture would be when you start to reach out and you start to build a relationship. And then hot is going to be when they're ready to do business with you. So as we take a look right here, you'll see that Sally Sample has a watch, nurture, and hot stage. If you have a select number of items or select list of things that you need from Sally Sample or need to do or provide for Sally before we start to nurture, we can go ahead and add checklist items. And by clicking on the top right-hand corner right here, right next to create opportunity, you have stages and checklists. This stages and checklists will fully determine on where you're currently at right here. So since we're in Cultivate, if I click on stages and checklists, it will allow me to edit all of the checklist items for all these different boxes right here. If I were to navigate to appointments and then click on stages and checklists, it will allow me to edit this appointment boxes, so on and so forth. So as we're taking a look right here, we have our cultivate, we have our watch, nurture, and hot. We're going to kind of ignore these other boxes that are right here. We'll only focus on these first three. Our watch, if we kind of click on our checklist item right here, and our watch stage, it says there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 7 or 8 different checklist items that we need to complete before we can start to move over to the nurture stage. One of which is going to be get a phone number. 2 is get the email. 3 is get the lead's current address. Add current neighborhood to the contact. Add long-term nurture plan. Send nice to meet you video or text. Send video email. And then update opportunity details as needed. So it sounds like a lot, but as we start to kind of copy and paste this and put this into practice here, you'll see how easy and organized it is. So first and foremost, get the phone number of your lead. So the moment the lead comes in, it's cold lead, we're going to need to kind of get a valid way of getting in contact with them. So if we go ahead and click on stages and checklists on the top right-hand corner here in Cultivate, you'll see all of those different boxes that we have here. And I'll go ahead, I'm going to delete a couple of these boxes here. So we just have the watch, nurture, and hot that we're used to. And as we take a look, you'll be able to first organize these if you'd like. So if we start making more boxes like you just saw previously, you can kind of organize them. You can say watch, nurture, almost hot, and then hot, right? And then as we move over here, this is going to be a probability of closing. And this is pretty cool. Within your opportunity, go back to our, within your opportunity right here, your watch, nurture, and hot, there's going to be a percentage right here. And this is basically saying this is what your probability of closing on this deal if this deal were to end here today. So again, watch is going to be a 0% probability of closing because we never reached out to them. Nurture, maybe like a 5%, hot, maybe a 7% because they're still ready to do business, right? And then as you go down the appointment, active under contract, and close stage, of course, close is going to be that 100%. And then you can go ahead and work your way backwards. But again, something very easy. If you know that you're staging that home, if you're staging the home and you know that 80% of the time when you're staging a home that home's going to be sold, again, go ahead and adjust that according to you and your business. So back to these, now we have our checklist items, and these things are what we're going to dive into here. Again, if you want to edit any checklist items, just click on these 0 of blank right here, and then we can go ahead and kind of open this up and take a closer look. On the right-hand side, you have client updates. There isn't really anything right here, but right at the very end here, you have your edit and your delete option. Your edit only allows you to edit the name and the probability percentage. All of your editing for your checklist items are going to be in this category right here. The last thing that I kind of want to show you before we actually start jumping in and copying and pasting here is that on the top right-hand corner, you have add stage. And even though we can't edit checklist items by the pencil, like we will have to actually go into this column, when you add a brand new stage, it does allow you to create checklist items. So if I wanted to say almost hot for this category right here, I can create that full list of checklist items. And then again, I'll move that right up above here. And there we go. Yeah, so fantastic question from the chat box here. There is unfortunately no way to automatically upload checklist items. We would have to do this manually. However, hopefully I can kind of show you how quick that is here today. So we have our watch. I'm going to delete all these checklist items right here. Bear with me for just a second. So yeah, so it may take probably about 20, 30 minutes or so to kind of get through that full listing and buyer checklist. So so it may take an initial amount of time, but for the amount of setup that you're providing for your future self is pretty phenomenal. It's worth the 20 minutes. So let's go ahead and do this really quickly here. So our cultivate or our watch section right here, all we'll need to do is we'll just copy this and paste it. So add checklist item, paste, include client update. Nope. Again, any other information that you want to add right here. So maybe if I want to add Ben verified on the description instead of the title, I can do so here. Perfect. And if there's a hyperlink, I can probably do that as well. So I may even be able to add Ben verified since it's a .com. I may be able to add that as the hyperlink. So now we have one checklist item already in our watch here. We're going to go over to our checklist again. We're going to get that second one, get email of the lead. So I'm going to hit Control C. Add that next checklist item, Control V right here. And then, of course, you do have a priority level as well, right? So getting an email, I think, is a pretty high priority because that's going to be a primary method of contact. Getting a phone number may also be a high priority as well. There we go. And then onto our third checklist item. So we go back to our opportunity, get the lead's current address, Control C right here, and then Control V. We're going to do all these initial ones as a high priority level because, again, this is really kind of how you get the ball rolling. We're going to add that next fourth checklist item right here. Add current neighborhood to contact. There we go. And we'll do a medium priority for this, even though, I mean, that's really how you get your neighborhood nurtures going. But again, just to kind of mix it up a little bit, we'll have that. And then again, on to our next checklist item. So add long-term nurture. Now for this one right here, there's a lot in parentheses right here. So I may actually crop this. I may delete this right here. Then again, I may paste this down below for that additional context right here. We'll add one more. Oh, so we actually have three more. We'll copy this. Control V right here. Send nice to meet you video text. Now here's something that's really cool. If you have a generic but personal enough YouTube video like, hey, thank you so much, it was really great to meet you the other day, I'm looking to get to know your interest or your priorities a little bit more, and know what you're looking for in terms of a new home. So like anything that could be like generic enough, you may be able to kind of create a personal generic YouTube video. If not, you can just kind of paste this right here and then say maybe create a new one for every single lead. It all depends on how involved you want to be, right? All right, send video with relevant market info. So market stat video. Market stats. And then I'm just, again, anything that's kind of in parentheses right here, anything that might be a little too long for that title, I may want to just kind of hide it in that description right here. So, I mean, really quick way, like look at all these checklist items that we've already kind of created here. We got one last checklist item. This is going to be an optional checklist item. Update anything accordingly. All right. So now we have our full watch stage already kind of taken care of right here. And again, this is really meant to be a template here for you. Again, every business is so unique and so different. Some may absolutely love to call, some may love to text, some may love to grab coffee, some may love to Zoom, so there's so many different things that you can make unique in your own. So again, treat this as a template here for you. But again, look, we have 8 checklist items already here for us. We'll hit save right here, and then we'll be able to kind of jump back and take a look at this. So I'm going to refresh our page here, because whenever you make any updates, it's always good to kind of go back and refresh the page. Now, what you see right here, which is pretty cool, is you'll see anybody who hits this watch stage right here is going to get 8 checklist items. So again, every single brand new person is always going to get those same 8 checklist items right here. So so really cool. If I were to move Samantha Jones over here, Samantha may have less opportunities, but if I were to create, this is still perfectly good example. I have fake name and I have Sally McSample right here. Both of them have 8 checklist items, because again, that's how many checklist items we put in here. If say fake name needed a little bit of extra TLC, what we can do is we can click on this checkbox item for fake name right here, and we should be able to add another task. And then we can hit create right here. And what this will do is this will actually give fake name an extra task that doesn't affect the rest of the stage here. So super cool. So again, everyone will have that standard 8, but if somebody needs like some extra steps, or if they don't need extra steps, right, you can kind of finagle their own opportunity. All right. Taking a look here, another thing to view is we have the option to hide completed tasks. So let's just jump back into Sally's sample here. Now, if we start completing tasks right here, it'll give us an indication. It'll let us know which ones we have and have not completed. Oops. Sorry, that's just the checkbox. It's going to be right here on the right-hand side, mark as complete. So once we give that a click right here, it should give you an indication on the right-hand side that it is complete. Now, if you wanted these just to go away and you only want to see the tasks that needed to be done, we have a hide completed tasks up at the very top here. So, so again, if I want to show, if I want to hide completed tasks, and I can start checking these off right here, again, it'll only show me what needs to be done before I can carry this opportunity over to the next stage. And then what's also pretty cool right here is you have all these sections right here as well. So so we haven't made it that far yet, but again, as we start building this out and as we start moving this opportunity through this timeline right here, you should be able to kind of see that timeline of tasks here. So pretty cool. So you have an apply checklist right here. So you have the ability to apply, like, say, good example here. Let me pull Samantha Jones back over here. It looks like Samantha, you know, we've updated the watch stage since Samantha has been here. So again, Samantha may have a little bit different options here for us. So as we kind of take a look, we can apply those checklists. There we go. And if we want to add those tasks, we should be able to add the tasks. It looks like it kind of failed, but again, you should still have some editability and functionality when it comes to this. They're building this out still to this day. So you should see some new stuff in here. You should see some functions in here that may look a little bit different for you. Now, again, you have your watch, nurture, almost hot and hot. So you do have the ability to kind of look through these different stages right here. So again, once we start building out this second checklist for nurture right here, again, you'll be able to kind of see all those different kind of checklist items. So we got 3 right here. We got 8 right here. And as we start kind of building this out, you know, we can kind of, again, see it all as a collective whole. Now, a couple other things I want to show you is if you belong to a team, one of the coolest things that they actually have the ability to assign a team member. So let's see if we have something here. So right here we have test A, test B, and then add lead to my database. So we just have some generic tasks right here. But now that we're inside of the team account, there's this unique option, especially Rainmakers over here, right? You have the ability to add an assignee, and then you have that due date as well. So again, if I wanted a specific person to always be the one to call for the email address, right, or so on, you can assign your team members those specific tasks. Or again, as we're starting to navigate through or down the pipeline here, maybe under contract, active under contracts, that's a different section of your team versus the cultivate section, which is going to be more of the nurturing side, right? So you can go ahead and adjust those accordingly when you have these opportunities or these checklists added to the team opportunities. All right, let's jump back in here one more time. Oops, this is still a team account. So one last thing, when we take a look, at just a regular personal account for opportunities. Regular personal account also has the add due date, so I didn't want to skip over that. You can't assign to anyone because you're just a solo agent here, right? But you do have the ability to add a due date. So again, just to kind of keep things rolling, to make sure that everything keeps on pace, you can add due dates to these specific tasks as well. 2 questions, Gary, shoot. As Gary's writing these questions out here, we also have let's see. Gosh, I thought there was one more thing that I wanted to show you guys. Oh, buyers. Okay, absolutely. And again, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out, support@scottleroymarketing.com. You can shoot them down here in the chat box down below. Anything that works the best for you. Buyer opportunities right here. So buyers will also have these checklist types. So again, of course, just like the sellers here, you'll have the buyers. So right down below here. The only thing, again, that emphasis, you'll still have all the checklist items. Checklists are going to pertain to the buying side, right? But one thing to keep in mind is let's try and get back over here. For buyer opportunities, just keep in mind that you won't have that marketing section. So again, you won't have that marketing section. You won't have the ability to choose that listing because we're not branding a listing right now. We're helping somebody find a listing, right? So so you won't have those 2 options. But once you do find that listing for that buyer, you can go ahead and enter in that address manually. All right, I think that may be about it for you guys. I'm going to stick around for a few extra minutes. For those of you who have any questions, please feel free to throw them in the chat box down below. And again, thank you so much, you guys, for taking the time and checking out these cool features and functions within KW Command. Also, keep in mind, right, this is a You Choose class. So if you have any thoughts, suggestions, ideas for classes that you would like to see, just note that you can vote in for these classes, and every other Friday we'll go ahead and put them on for you. So really excited to be able to kind of mastermind with you guys and bring in some amazing classes. So again, thank you so much. Truly appreciate it, and have a fantastic weekend.